I'm very funny. And they think I should be a stand-up comic. There's only one problem. I can't stand up so long. So I decided I'm going to be the world's first sit-down comic. That works. That works for everybody? Okay. Okay. I take sit-down comedy very seriously. In fact, I took a course about 3 months ago at the Boston Adult Education Society. They gave a course in stand-up comedy. And it was so important for me to get an A. I worked so hard on that course. Because do you know how hard it is to get into a good senior residence? without an A? Very hard. Would you like to know how a 90-year-old starts her day? Yes. First I get out of bed and I go straight to the door because I have the Boston Globe delivered. I open the Boston Globe to the obituary page. I look for my name. If I don't see my name, I go right to the kitchen and make coffee. After breakfast, I very carefully brush my remaining tooth, which has outlived 2 dentists and 1 right root canal specialist. And then I comb my hair, and oh dear, the bathroom is so well lit and fully mirrored. And since I've had my cataracts removed, I see every wrinkle on my face. It's a shock. I'm thinking seriously of calling the eye doctor and having him put them back. I think I need to have them put back again. My rooms are very dirty, and that's not covered by Obamacare. In reality, the wrinkles are not such a sign of aging. I had them when I was much younger. My sons gave me the name Brazen when I was still very young. And a plastic surgeon we knew said to me, Anita, I could turn you back into a grape. But I never took him up on that offer, because I'm not vain anymore. All that is behind me. When I was young, I had long red hair and great legs, and I used to stop traffic when I crossed the street. I can do the same thing now. Believe it or not, I have a cane. I just go, and traffic, I raise my cane and the traffic stops. So what's changed? Nothing. Really, I'm a lucky nonagenarian. As you see, I have 3 wonderful sons. Now my son Saul, the firstborn, Saul, he's an accountant and my financial advisor. And he tells me I have nothing to worry about. He says, I have enough money to last me the rest of my life, unless, of course, I decide to buy something. And Jonathan, the oral pathologist and scientist, examines my gums and cheeks and tongue very carefully, without any charge, looking for early signs of cancer. Each time he does this, I can't help but be grateful that he's not a gynecologist. No water. Oh, I noticed it so badly. My tongue was pleated. Okay, that's better. And the youngest, David, is a highly skilled veterinary pathologist. He comes over regularly to give me distemper shots. And yes, another benefit. He specializes in large animal medicine. And this is so wonderful for the entire family. After all these years, we're all finally free of tapeworms. And I'm really so proud of all 3 of them, because between the 3 of them, they have 8 graduate and advanced degrees. So sometimes I wonder, how come none of them knows how to change a roll of toilet paper? feel I've lived a very long and productive life and have witnessed many changes in our society in the past 90 years. I have lived through the Great Depression, World War II, and the atomic bomb. But I think the biggest change has been in the way we communicate. You are looking at someone who started school writing with a nib pen and an inkwell. Not a quill, but a nib pen. And I used a typewriter with a ribbon, and we made copies with carbon paper. And now we have computers and iPhones and text messaging, and all my friends are buying all these new technology. I refuse to buy a piece of equipment that's smarter than I am. Another change I've noticed is that our vocabularies have changed drastically. Words that were taboo when I was growing up, like the F word, are now part of everyone's vocabulary and everyday speech. It's a noun, it's a verb, it's an adjective. I hear it on the T all the time, and I'm really shocked. And some words have totally disappeared from our vocabularies. Spaghetti. Who eats spaghetti anymore? Only pasta. And what happened to prunes? You can't find them at the store. They're now called dried plum. Why? Because prunes are wrinkled and associated with constipation. Dried plums are smooth and young and sexy. And the good news is, this is the good part, nobody has problems anymore, only issues. You notice that? We have no issues. And thank goodness we're no longer nervous. We're only a little anxious. What a difference a word makes. And some words are funnier than others, I think. If I respond to a rude remark by a wise Alec youngster, I could say, "Listen, kid, I have shoes older than you." Well, that's not so funny. But if I say, "Listen, kid, I have pots older than you," I think that's funny. You know the one thing that has not changed during the last 90 years? What men really think about it. How do I know? I'll give you an example. I attended a play not too long ago, well, pretty long ago, with an old friend, Paul Abramson, and we were sitting behind Arthur Miller, and I was so excited. I said, "Paul, do you realize we're sitting behind the greatest American living playwright?" And you know what he said to me? "Anita, do you realize we are sitting behind the man who slept with Marilyn Monroe?" That's the difference in approach. My life has changed in many ways over the years since I turned 90, and I finally figured out it doesn't pay to cook anymore. For one person, so I don't cook. I just eat leftovers. But please don't ask me what was the original meal. I used to have a large collection of cookbooks. Now I have a large collection of takeout menus from neighborhood restaurants that deliver. And now I can turn my oven into something I really need, a bookcase. That's true. I did, however, just buy a Cuisinart blender to make drinks, which came with a lifetime guarantee. I'm still not certain if the guarantee is on the life of the blender or I haven't looked into that yet. So right now my life is so good. I'm living independently in a beautiful apartment in Brookline. But I don't drive anymore because 5 years ago I realized it was time for me to give up my car. So will I be smart enough to know when it's time to give up living independently, when I will need to move into a home with more assistance? So I decided I have two criteria for that. Want to know what they are, the first two criteria?
Sure.
I set up two criteria. They are, when I start putting glue stick on my lips instead of chapstick, and vaginal cream on my dentures instead of Fixodent, that will be a sure sign. But until that day, I'm staying home and thinking funny thoughts. I'm still following my bliss, and now I use a walker. thank you all for coming. Everyone in this room was invited because I love you, and there's so much love in this room. It's wonderful to feel. So I want everyone I love to please meet everyone else that I love. I want everyone I like to like each other. So please do, and thanks for being here.